Are we really ready for this? They can't hear us, by the way.
Oh, great. I hate them. Yeah, I guess so. I think does this work for...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
All right, well, it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to start the music.
Okay.
When you know that you are queer, but your favorite drink is beer, that's gayish. You can bottom without stopping, but you can't stand going shopping, that's gayish. Oh, gayish, you're probably gayish. Well, life's just too short for narrow stereotypes, so it's gayish. We're also gayish. It's Gayish with Mike and Kyle.
Hello, everyone in the podcast universe. This is Gayish.
The podcast that wonders, do sadomasochists? Let's take it from the top, everybody. What are we doing? Are we live?
Are you just trying to get me to beat you?
Oh. Do sadomasochists have gags on under their masks? They that's what they would sound like too. Thanks, Ma Johnson, for sending me some intro line ideas. That one brought to you by Ma Johnson, who's also in the comments if you are, because we're streaming live. Oh, yeah. I guess we can introduce her.
I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz.
We're here to bridge the gap between sexuality and actuality. And today, we're not going to tell you.
We're not going to tell you what we're talking about because we are doing our monthly live stream.
Yeah.
So for all those that are here with us live, go over to the Facebook chat. And
so I'm going to go to this screen now. So while we are here, you can get a hold of us via the comments section on Facebook. You can also text us or leave us a voicemail. We will not be listening to voicemails, but you can leave one anyway.
Unless I get bored during this.
5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply. Or you can email us at gmail@gayishpodcast.com or gayishpodcast@gmail.com. I should have fixed that.
Does that work?
Fuck, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Probably.
Sure. It might be to our advantage to have emails go to nowhere.
If we respond to half of our emails, that'd be great.
But at the end of the show, we do want to have a listener's Gayest and Straightest. So if you are listening, please send one in so that we can
say it out loud
on the show. Doing stuff.
If you're listening to this later on the regular Thursday thing, then we do this monthly. So come join us when we actually record.
Yeah.
Or when we do these live things.
Should we do the news?
But first, yeah.
Okay, we're going to do the news. So first, what?
News. It's going to be trouble.
God.
News.
Okay.
News.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm.
Mike's not going to be subtle.
No. Great. You done?
We'll see. Keep reading and I'll see. Thanks to Joe and Dallas for doing some lyric brainstorming with me today.
I'm going to give you a Taylor Swift kick in the ass if you ever do that again.
That's just folklore.
Okay, here's the news.
Do you know that her album is folklore? Do you know that I made a reference?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I'm so proud of myself. Okay.
Cool.
So, first, news the first.
Yeah.
Here we go. So, there is a Baptist pastor in Canada.
Okay.
Who was fired from her church for theological reasons because in an online session she came out as trans. The Reverend Junia June Joplin, who is originally from North Carolina.
Hold on. We're going to need to say that again.
Junia quotes June. She goes as June Joplin.
Got it. Still love that.
Yeah.
Junia June Joplin.
Jackie Jump. She's originally from North Carolina, and she surprised some in her congregation in June with the announcement at Lorne Park Baptist Church in Mississauga, Ontario. She said, quote, I want you to hear me when I tell you that I'm not just supposed to be a pastor. I'm supposed to be a woman. My friends, my family, my name is Junia. You can call me June. I'm a transgender woman, and my pronouns are she and her. More than half of the 111-member congregation voted to terminate her contract after that.
Isn't Canada supposed to be chill?
Yeah, that's sort of the unfortunate punchline here is that we think of a lot of other places as having no problems. It's just a liberal utopia, and I definitely think of Canada that way. It's not true. There are lots of rural parts of Canada. There are lots of conservative parts of Canada, and they fucking suck.
Yeah, and I mean, we've learned that even Seattle, we think of it as a totally liberal, but they're still, just because in general things are good in certain places or like a country or a city, like that doesn't mean everything's good.
Yep, it's true. She began this journey in 2018 by telling her spouse and sons. This you're gonna love this, I think. The congregation released a statement saying, quote, "After a month of prayerful discernment and discussions between June and the congregation, it was determined for theological reasons that it is not in God's will that June remain as our pastor." We sat around.
We talked to God.
We talked to God for a while. We gave him ample opportunities to sample the buffet. We had a potluck, and God let us know. Sorry, nah.
I love a lot of people, but she's not one. That's God's decree.
It's totally true, though, that like when it comes to religion, all you have to do is say it's God's will.
Remember, I think it was like the last election cycle or like before Trump ended up getting picked, like all the Republicans were like, God said I should be president. And then so all of them had to say, well, God said I should be president. And you're like, they're either bunches of gods that have different ideas or...
Yeah, this is not a godmocracy. Thank goodness. Yeah, sorry. Shit happens sometimes and it's terrible. Yeah. And moving on.
Okay.
Next. Professional wrestling star Cody Rhodes, who I would let do things to me.
You would Rhodes him?
Yeah. Can you see him?
Yeah, I saw some arms and I...
Yeah, and he has a neck tattoo, which just makes me want to have him treat me badly.
Yeah.
Professional wrestling star Cody Rhodes is... So I think we covered it on the show. I forget if we did or not. There's now a pro wrestler who is gay and out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Sunny Kiss is his name, and he uses he and she pronouns, which I think is maybe problematic because they definitely don't present female at all intentionally. And
well, you don't have to present it. Just maybe gender fluid. I wonder if like what
that could be. That could be. Yeah. Anyway. All Elite Wrestling announced yesterday that TNT champion Cody Rhodes will face off against gay wrestler Sunny Kiss in a title match at the Fight for the Fallen TV special this Wednesday. This was last Wednesday, July the 15th. And so then somebody on Twitter...
Great. Good opinions coming, I'm sure.
Yep. Tweeted Rhodes flipping him shit for wrestling a faggot. And said... The tweet has been deleted, but Rhodes responded, quote, "This is terrible, and you're not worth the signal boost, but I'll make this clear to fans worldwide. If you have a problem with a gay man receiving a title shot, you can kiss my ass. I'm proud to share the ring with Sunny."
Fuck you, yeah. I love that. Also... wrestling a faggot sounds like so much fun. That seems like a positive thing to me.
Yeah.
I would love to wrestle a faggot.
Yeah. Wrestling this faggot's exactly what I think when I looked at this picture. I
demand you wrestle me, faggot.
I just think it's really interesting. There's like a whole cluster of shit that's happening at once here, right? Pro wrestling is just about the straightest straight dude shit that there is. So then for there to be a gay wrestler is pretty fantastic in the first place, and it is obviously going to cause ripples and cultural stuff. And then for there to be the natural expected, I think, backlash from those hyper-masculine toxic fans about it, but then to side with the gay dude is pretty great.
Yeah. Well, it's weird because you're right. It is like very like masked, like energy, but also they're wearing like string bikinis. Like it's just one of those things that like the more like super masculine it is, the more homoerotic it is.
Yeah.
So I could imagine that being a weird part to, you know, dumb straight people of like, oh, like, but they're all sweaty and shirtless, so like he's gonna like it. And little do they know, like little gay boys have been jerking off to them for years. It's
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, good for you, pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And thanks, Cody Rhodes, for choking Kyle.
I should be so lucky.
News the last.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
So this is super interesting, and there's a lot more studying to be done and whatnot. But this month, July of 2020, the first person has been cured of HIV using drugs only. So we have completely eliminated HIV before from patients, but typically that's because of a bone marrow transplant. So they take all of your blood out of you, squeeze you like an orange, and then transplant different bone marrow in you, and then pump blood back in you. And I'm obviously fucking full of shit here, but like a bone marrow transplant is usually involved in cases where HIV is completely eliminated. This, however, was a patient who was on on top of being on antiretroviral medications for managing HIV, was then also given my screen is so far away and I'm basically blind and I'm having a hard time reading it. So there's a skin cancer treatment drug called nicotina something.
Oh, that feels cancery.
Nicotinamide. Anyway, was given this skin cancer medication, this person and 4 other patients. So there were 5 that were in the study, but they were given this skin cancer medication for a round of it. And then once that treatment was over, stopped the antiretroviral treatment, and HIV did not rise after that. They stayed undetectable, even not being on anything.
Huh.
So they have been cured of HIV using pills alone.
Is it like
medication alone? I shouldn't say pills.
Oh, well, yeah. Is it like cancer in that, like, it's like remission, like you're never fully cured, like it's still hanging out there, or is it like you are negative?
The HIV?
Yeah.
So far, it's that they are negative. The thing is, the other 4 patients in the trial, their HIV came back.
Huh.
So it's an anomaly that this happened for this one patient, but it proves that it's possible.
Yeah. The
other thing is, like, chemo basically nukes everything, and the idea is that it kills the cancer before it kills other important shit.
Yeah.
And that's part of what's happening.
Yeah.
Here.
Wow. No, that's really cool.
Yeah. So more studying to do, more figuring it out, but apparently these medications, this cocktail of medications, was able to, at least in this one person, completely eliminate HIV.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Awesome.
A little bright spot in our horse shit.
Yeah, that's true. There were like some positive things that you talked about. That's great.
Just to spite you. And that's the news.
No, I won't do that again. Well, I want to thank several of our Patreon members. Mark Bailey.
Mark Bailey.
Do you know him, or are you just thinking wistfully about him?
No, I told you I quit drinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I miss Bailey's.
Ben Dumois, I'm assuming. Ooh. Or it's Ben Dumois.
Dumois.
Alan A. Salvador, or as I like to call him, Alan A. Salvador. Christopher Hoadley and Mike.
Wait, do I donate to us on Patreon?
I think I did include this at the end to confuse you. I think it worked. There is someone whose name is Mike.
Oh, okay.
Exclamation point. I don't know if I...
Wait, that's my name on Scruff. It's Mike with several exclamation points.
Did the Scruff version of you become sentient and donate to us? Thanks. So thank you, everyone who donates to us. Since you're watching live, hopefully, you can see all the shit that we have. We've had to buy a bunch of new stuff to make sure that we can do stuff like this, make sure we can do our...
Pay my power bill.
Sure. Do our, like, recording. Usually we record remotely. So, yeah, thank you for helping us get all the new equipment and shit we need to make that possible.
New equipment, a Zoom subscription. We've got...
Yeah. So
you're keeping the lights on.
Yeah. So if you want to support us, go to patreon.com/Gayish podcast. Yeah. Are we ready for the topic?
Are you ready to reveal?
Yes.
No, hold on.
What are you doing? Oh God, are we acting out a little play?
This is a great bit for radio. The topic is 3, 2, 1.
Sexting. Wow, you did sexy sexting.
Thank you. There's no other kind, is there?
I've seen some bad sexting.
Really?
I mean,
were you the author or the recipient?
I'll be honest and say I've been on both sides. Yeah, we're going to talk about sexting.
Okay. Sexting.
Are you ready for this? Doom, doom, doom. Another Taylor Swift
Y'all ready for
reference.
this? Do, do, do,
Nope.
do.
We've done this before. Whenever I sing the Taylor Swift song.
Because she's awful.
Okay, great. Let's have this conversation again. Okay, I'm going to start, and I'm going to give you some Gayda.
Gayda.
Is that the theme song for Gayda?
Should be.
Gayda. So I'm going to tell you a study called Sexting Among Young Men Who Have Sex with Men, results from a national survey by Jose Bauermeister, Emily Yeagley, Stephen Menzies, Emily Esther Pinkley.
Again, we can't study asexual female animals, but we have time for dude-on-dude sext action.
Yes,
Okay,
correct. This is published in the Journal of Adolescent Health in 2014. Yeah, I mean, sending the devil emoji is really important for us to understand, Mike.
It's an imp.
What?
The purple horned emoji that everybody sends when they're trying to be like sexy.
I'm raunchy.
It's labeled as imp in the code.
This is what we're talking about now. What? That's not an imp. Mike?
I'm just telling
Mike?
you. I'm just telling you.
These are lies. Stop.
It's an imp.
Stop slandering
The devil.
devils. They deserve better than that.
Great.
Okay. So, this was one of the few studies where the full text was short enough that I actually read the full thing that was there. So, I don't know.
Great.
I'm more tired than usual. So they define
Maybe the quality of writing is improving.
I don't know.
in studies.
I don't know. Let me know how this one goes to see if I'm any better. Okay, so they define sexting as based on the Pew Internet and American Life Project, which is, or what they define it as, which is the transmittance of a sexually suggestive nude or nearly nude photo or video
Hold, please.
of either party.
I don't think sexting means pics at all.
Samesies.
They are wrong.
Correct.
Write them now. Stop the show. You're emailing that long string of people's
No, I'm
names.
doing it. I'm doing it old school. Dear Jose, Emily, Stephen, Emily. There are two Emilys. So you know it's good. Yeah, I agree. But this is actually, so there has been a lot of studies on sexting, and 2014, this is one of the first studies into men who have sex with men and gay men's sexting. So this is what we got.
Okay.
Fund our sexting if we want more. So they talk to, there are many things in here that I disagree with, but we'll get to there. They studied 1,500 young men who have sex with men, 18 to 24 were their ages. This is a side note. It says like people based in the U.S. and Puerto Rico, and that's the U.S. Like that's just the U.S. I think the onus should be to say the U.S. excluding Puerto Rico if you do.
Okay. But what about Guam?
Guam, American Samoa,
The U.S. Virgin Islands,
US Virgin Islands, D.C.,
the Marianas or something. There's lots of United States that's not United States, but
but it is United States.
But how do you succintly say?
We should come up with
the
an acronym.
50 states plus Puerto Rico. I guess I just did it.
Yeah.
So
Well, no. Yeah. There has to be some kind of acronym. We did LGBTQ, and that caught on somehow, in spite of how shitty that is to try to say.
Yeah.
We can go Puerto Rico. Get on it.
Great.
No. Okay. That's not what this study was about, though. That's just my talking. Okay. So they categorize these 1,500 young men who have sex with men into several different things. Sexual orientation, which
Gay.
This was how do you self-identify? So we know you have sex
Gay.
with men.
No, go ahead.
Most 92% identified as gay, but there were 3% that identified as bi, 2% straight, and others. They categorized these people as either they don't sex.
Hold on.
Okay. This is going to be a long episode.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. I just talked about Puerto Rico for a minute.
Of all of the people that they talked to about sexting that bang other dudes, 2% of them called themselves straight.
Correct.
That just seems very high to me. That's all. If you ask, you like, in the universe, collect 100 people that, in the universe, collect 100 dudes that bang other dudes. 2 of them said that they're actually straight or identify as straight. That's just, it's interesting.
I think, like, especially 18 to 24, like, it makes sense.
Kids
like,
hate labels.
Well, but they labeled themselves as straight, so not that much, I guess. But I think at that age, it's probably even more likely than average to still, or maybe they were just like, got drunk and had some fun, you know?
All right. Okay.
Okay. They also categorize them into like how they sext. So either they have received sexts, they have sent sexts, or they have done both. They have exchanged two-way sexting.
I mean, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of hot straight guys out there that have received their share of dick pics.
I don't think gay dudes go out and send like straight dudes like, here's my dick.
I think they do. You're the only gay person that doesn't send dick pics.
No, but not to straight dudes.
What I'm saying is you're skewed. Your instincts about this are flawed because you are in the vast minority of not sending dick pics at all. So it's even harder for you to anticipate sending them to a straight guy.
I'm an objective observer because I'm outside of the realm of those who send dick pics. I can look upon. Okay, I'm still in the setup for this study. Great. And they also categorize them into...
Welcome to Saturday night, everybody.
Have a drink. I hope you're enjoying it. So they also categorize them as, have they been sexually active in the past 2 months or not? And then if they have been sexually active, they only focused on anal. Which...
That checks out too, really.
The sexters only care. No, like... I would think beaches would be very interesting to study. Like,
I agree.
I've been studying them my whole life. I still don't understand them.
Like when you were 8? Like,
no. Well, okay. Okay. Now we're getting into findings. We're getting into actual data.
Okay.
So, as far as their sexting behavior, over 80% engaged in sexting.
Okay.
High, low, medium, what would you think?
I'm disappointed.
You're disappointed in our youth? Why do you care more about the climate than sexting each other?
I'm disappointed that less than 80% of the people I text have ever sexted me.
Okay,
I feel like I'm underachieving. It's like...
No. You have sexted, so you would be in the 80%.
Boy, have I.
Boy, have you. It was very slight, but I enjoyed it. Those who had sexted had slightly higher education than those who hadn't.
I mean, you got to be able to read.
That's true. That's true, Mike.
It's going to get us in trouble. I'm sorry.
Good point. This is live, so you can't take it back.
Yep.
Our illiterate youth are having real trouble connecting over sext. And among those who do sext, 76% of it was two-way. And actually, I think I might know a little bit about what you said. So there was I think it was 10% were people that had only received them. Mm-hmm. And then it was under 2% that had only sent them. So there are not a lot of people out there that are just sending them.
Okay.
So that's good. I feel like you kind of want it to be mutual. So now how that turns into actual in life sex. In-person sex. I haven't had sex so much I forget how to talk about it.
Yeah, same.
So over 70% of this group said they had sexual activity. Mm-hmm. Super sexually active crowd, I guess. Mm-hmm. I mean, that seems like a lot to me, but...
Why? You think there are more ace people out there, or like...
No, it's just that's so young. That's not true. I was in my 20s when I... Never mind. Okay, I accept. Sexters were more likely... This is the surprise of the century. Sexters were more likely than non-sexters to have sex.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. For those sexters, for those who were sexually active, sexters tended to be more likely to be the insertive partner.
Wait. But what if you were both sexting?
Then you got to put your dick into the other person's dick. You got to you got to have a sword fight. That's the only way.
Okay. All right. Okay.
There was no connection though to receptive anal sex, regardless of whether you sexed it or not. So if you're more likely to sex, then you're more likely to insert. Young people, tell us why. Tell us why if you sext, you like.
I just don't. I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something. I just don't understand how you can say, "Okay, I'm making some leaps here. Please call them out." To be the one that is insertive, doesn't that mean you're the top?
Yeah.
So is everybody sexting each other just like two tops in a fantasy world?
No, like you may be a sexter and hooking up with someone who doesn't sext, or.
Got it.
You may not sext each other, like you are just either a sexter or a non-sexter.
Got it. Okay. Great.
You're welcome. That's it. So, nope. The last thing, compared to other studies, men who have sex with men are sexed more than straight people.
AE just said, I may be biased as an English instructor, but I'd be hard-pressed to describe the sexters I've encountered as literate. You heard it here from an expert, folks.
Oh, yeah. That's, well, let's go to the boards and read some sex to see what they... No. These men who have sex with men more likely to sext than straight people.
Huh. All right. I'll buy that.
That makes sense to me. I don't know why.
Well, one of the like nefarious theories that I have is that like life is so shitty that there's no healthy way to express yourself sexually, so you turn that into a rich internal fantasy world, and that you have more to describe fantastically because that's most of the sex you've had.
I would also say
make that noise again. I like it when you make that.
Trouble. I would also say a really smart thing that, like if you can't be open about your orientation, like digitally might be the place to do it. No. For those listening at home, Mike just made a pun about digital by
putting his finger
in the air, which at first I was worried was some kind of insertive reference that you were finding the prostate in the air. But okay, so that's Gayda.
That's Gayda.
Yeah.
All right. Well, very predictably, I bet you know what the next segment's going to be.
The history of sex.
The history of sexting. Exactly.
It started 5 years ago, and we've had a rich sexting. Or are we going to go back to like in hieroglyphics? Some dude. Hold
on.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I'm old. I'm blind. I can't read my screen. It's way over here. So I'm going to fuck some shit up.
You good? Do you need help? Do you need a hug?
All right. Did I break the stream? Nope. Looks good. Okay. Here we go. So this is from Adam McLean, who is a culture blogger, on a post from December 7th of 2011.
Culture blogger is the most I don't know what you do. Like, that's barely a thing.
I'm hoping that's not his full-time job. But a brief history of sexting, and I think it's really interesting.
Okay.
We'll dig in. So first of all, some students got in trouble for sending sexually explicit pictures of another student around a school, and the local news reported on it. After all, it contained teenagers and sex in the same story. So then in another town, a similar case was reported, and then at that point, a national news editor aggregated the two stories and gave it the sensational title of Sexting. This was all...
Oh, he came up with the word sexting?
In 2009, which it's not that old then.
No.
But so a single national news organization ran a story with the title Sexting, and then other news organizations and people not in the media but who enjoy making comments on news items picked up the story and repeated it. So it was one or two isolated cases that got aggregated together and labeled as this new thing, sexting, but our meme brains were just ready to accept the cleverness of that portmanteau and ran with it. So then there was a research, like it's like
not my reliable data that I bring.
More like BuzzFeed. Or okay. There was research into teen texting behavior in an unrelated marketing survey, and it determined that 20% of teenagers had sent a sexually explicit text message. So, it like I said, it was unscientific. It didn't study sending or receiving photos or videos. Just yes or no, you're a teenager. Have you sent a sexually explicit text? And that came back as 20%. 1 in 5 said yes.
In 2009?
Yeah.
Still?
Yep. So
I would have thought it'd be more even in 2009.
Well, so the word sexting started bubbling up, and people started saying it and
doing it.
So this is what I think is super duper interesting. Sexting, now a thing, begins to be written about as if it is a real trend affecting millions of teenagers. Another news agency labeled it as an epidemic. There's a sexting epidemic among teenagers.
Is there any other way to take that than negative view of sex? Like
negative view of sex, negative view of teenagers being sexual.
Yeah. I was trying to think of if there was a less shitty, we're shitty about sex way to interpret that. No, there's not. Great.
So
America and Puerto Rico.
Then parents start calling legislators and talking about this teen sexting problem.
Did they sex the legislators?
Anthony Weiner got involved.
That's true.
So then. Oh, hold on. Am I on the wrong tab? Are you watching the stream?
Yeah, I mean, ish.
Okay, great. So. The sexting begins to appear in the litany of prevention literature. Teenagers and their malformed prefrontal lobes can't help themselves. If you leave them alone for more than 14 seconds with a device, they will drop their pants and send pictures of their privates to everyone they know.
Who's saying this?
Parents. Parents are fucking crazy, Kyle. They are fucking insane. Soccer moms.
Hi, Ma Johnson. So happy to have you in the chat.
Yes, present company included. But so what I think is there are two things that I think are super interesting. So CNN then actually reported. Sorry, it was a 2008 survey that said that 20% of teens reported sending sexually explicit texts. So then an actual study. Kimberly J. Mitchell, PhD, was one of the co-authors and is a research associate professor of psychology at the University of New Hampshire in Durham, and found that 1% of teens had sent or received a nude or partly nude image, and it's actually somewhere between 1 and 2% of teenagers that were engaged in sexting. So it all snowballed largely the sexting phenomenon was much ado about nothing. Except then there was a measured uptick in the amount of sexting that teenagers were doing because they heard so much about it they wanted to fit in. They felt compelled to participate in this activity because of these strong messages that they were receiving from the culture that was part of normal teenage sexual behavior. And so the crisis actually then did start to be a problem in the early 20-teens.
Well, problem, right?
And big quotes around problem, exactly. Yeah. But it's fascinating to me that basically sexting wasn't a thing, and then it was because somebody decided it needed to be to freak parents out, and they're all fucking crazy.
That is whenever you see anything today, it's backlash against this thing, or anything that says it's that could be 5 people online that did that, and then we call that a backlash, or there's so many things like that even today that it's how many people are actually doing that. Is that actually true?
Yep.
Well, that's crazy that Dusky created that trend, the sexting trend.
Yeah.
By saying there was a trend.
And to be fair, I congratulate that level of portmanteau ability.
I memean, that's what I was thinking. Like, what if it wasn't called sex? What if it was called, like, flooping? Like, if you couldn't combine them, like, floopexting, like, doesn't sound cool.
Yeah.
Like, it's very lucky that our words... I wonder what other languages, what they say.
Good question.
Thank you.
I don't know. Anybody who has knowledge of other languages, let us know if there is an equivalent term.
I know, at least in Spanish, like often they'll take the dick. No, the English word like as sexting. Like I wonder if that's what things do.
I imagine that sex is sex in most Indo-European languages because it's sex in Russian often enough that and there's big linguistic tree width between English and Russian. Anyway. Anyway, that's the history of sexting. There was no history. It was just like
fabricated.
It's fabricated.
I'm gonna say in the comments, I don't know if y'all want me to say your name, so I'll say your first name because Joel asked if you've tried to sext with your dominant hand while taking care with the other. And then there's some discussion of Mike is now miming to think about how he does this.
I'm ambidextrous, so
Great.
I don't know. More study needed.
So, one person study into how Mike sexts. And someone mentioned
there are listeners that know. So it's
God. Oh God. And then someone said that that's why they use voice to text for that. So. What?
Mind blown. Voice to text sexting. Oh God. Okay.
Mike runs out of the live stream and goes to try it.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're going to talk about like personal stories later, but that is actually why hadn't I thought of that before? That's I feel real dumb for not having already considered that.
Oh, great.
But the other thing is, I am way more lurid in text than I am in speech. So like phone sex, I'm real bad and it's almost impossible.
Yeah.
Sexting, I'm a fucking maestro. And I wonder if the speech to text thing would make me better at phone sex by extension of like practicing.
Or worse at sexting. Like your sex become like, hey,
could I just sext like a string of ellipses? Because that's what it's like to phone sex with me.
AE says it's das Sexting in German.
Das Sexting?
Okay, let's Richard says lurid, bring it. I assume he says it like that. Lurid.
Bring it.
I want to talk about emojis.
Yeah.
You gave us a lie about the imp already, but we'll keep talking about other ones.
I had support. You weren't paying attention to the stream.
No, I saw it. I just ignored it.
Okay, great.
As one study I saw explained, emojis are picture characters.
Oh.
So
those darn kids
or pictographs. Kids now sending pictographs to each other. Okay, so I was going to ask you.
If you talk about Kimojis, I'm going to slap you.
That's my segment, everybody. Your turn, Mike.
No, go ahead.
Well, I wasn't going to, but now
I just talk about portmanteau ability and like the level of narcissism necessary to turn your name into a thing like that. I
mean, I haven't told you my spin-off podcast is going to be called Gayish. So
okay.
I did buy Kimojis where they were all.
I know.
Well, I was explaining it to our audience. Okay, I'll turn to the camera.
Do they know what Kimojis are?
If they don't, I don't want to know. No, Kimojis are you can buy. I don't think you can buy them anymore. I haven't stayed up on the Kimoji game, but you could buy like Kim Kardashian's emojis, and they would have like a lot more sexually explicit things like stripper poles and booties, and I mean booty was a big one, of course, and like there are weed signs and money, and you know there's a lot more. It's so funny for a while. It was around the same time her app or her game came out. Anyway, I was going to ask, what are the common do you use emojis in your personal sexting? Wow.
Sort of. So, okay, here's the thing. To me, sexting is different than flirting in text.
Okay.
And
explain yourself.
Sexting to me is not just like, oh, I think you're hot, or oh, I'd like to hook up, or like, hey, do you want to hook up? Or even like witty banter. Sexting is full on, like, as closely as possible, simulating having sex with each other via text messaging. And so, and I've noticed in my own behavior that, like, somebody says something hot, I'll send the devil emoji.
Imp.
It's an imp. I'll send that emoji, or like I'll send the eggplant emoji, but never while I'm describing sex acts in a narrative in text format.
You've not done the finger pointing and then okay sign to like represent, like.
And to me, I think it's because emojis aren't hot. Like, I think that it detracts from what's happening. Like, it's too cartoonish, and like, it's pictographical in a bad way.
Yeah, it's picture characters. I agree.
Great.
I guess you're right.
There's just nothing. There's just nothing sexy about a purple imp in the middle of like talking about getting down.
See, I don't know if someone says, like, I want to jizz inside your butthole until you overflow, devil emoji. The devil emoji adds something to it.
It definitely says, keep talking, but don't make me talk.
Oh, okay.
I like that, but don't make me
That's
respond.
another good thing. Drooling emoji, one of my go-to of, like, I'm super into that.
Why is there a drooling emoji? They knew what they were doing.
Okay, one of the emojis is the hot, like, no. Top. Have you seen that? Like, it just says
spinning top.
No. The word.
Oh, the word top with the arrow
top
over
with
it?
the arrow going up.
Yeah,
like, what the fuck is that meant for in a non-sexual, non-gay meaning? Let us know in the comments.
Yeah, are there like stock market execs that are all about that? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, bear. That would be a good crossover of. And of course, in the chat, we are now getting some emojis, which I don't. Other Michael Johnson, not you, I presume. The mushroom emoji. I don't think I would. There's some that I would like have not thought. Someone sent the bone, which, like, I don't know.
Yeah, eggplants and bananas. I get like that's
those. Yeah. Well, let me tell you about some of the less common emojis.
Okay.
That people use. So I scoured the internet.
Okay.
4 articles and looked through the emojis they talked about in sexting. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you the ones that, like, just stood out to me of great. Like, not expecting. Because yes, eggplant, three little water, jizz, basically.
Yeah,
like
the water jizz.
The water jizz. There's some that are, like, pretty, in Scruff or Grinder. I said them right. It sounded wrong to me, but that's because I said the right
Grinder
word.
and Gruff.
Gruff and Grinder, yeah. Like, you have the up arrow, the down arrow, and that really helps us figure out whom is whom.
I like the one that's two arrows sideways. Like, I don't know.
I'm going to want to back away from you. Like,
what's happening?
Yeah, so these are just my personal, like, I would not expect these. So one is, we talked about, like, bone, banana, eggplant. So, apparently, someone said that the pepper emoji, because it's
like
hotter.
The chili pepper?
Yeah, because it's hotter than the eggplant.
Yeah, but I don't want that near my ass.
I don't associate that as, like, penis. Like, I don't, like, bone and banana are penis shaped.
Have you ever, like, chopped up jalapeno and then accidentally touched your butthole?
No, I have not done that very specific thing. Have you?
No, me neither, but I have touched my penis because I went urinated, and, like, I just. So when you say like put the hot chili pepper as an emoji replacement for penis, that makes my butthole pucker up a little bit. It's not a thing I want to do.
Another one. This might be my most favorite one, because it's instead of the eggplant, it's the article said some honest men have been known to use the shrimp.
Honest men? That's some big shrimp.
But
Or are those prawns?
I don't know. It's an imp, probably.
Putting the imp in shrimp. You go, little guy.
Imp, shrimp. That means I want to... Oh, no, I'm thinking of crabs. I want to suck the juice out of your lobster. I'm so good at sexting. I don't know if you can tell just by...
Like crawfish when you suck the heads? Is that what you're talking about?
Don't you hit crawfish with a hammer? What's the crawfish boil?
Yeah.
Ugh, that grosses me out. I can't. Okay. Another emoji. We just did like a word association of like seafood.
Mom would be so proud.
Yeah, your mom followed that completely. I was trying to read. Oh my god! Yeah, look at all those emojis. I got someone sent to the peach emoji, which booty. Another one that I did not think about is the zipper mouth emoji for BDSM.
I will never see it the same way ever again.
Same. Also, gonna use... Well, but...
It could also be a Dom thing. You shut your goddamn mouth.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought it meant. Yeah. I mean, that's what I meant by BDSM.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, like, but there's also the, like, legit, like, a GIMP mask that has a zipper in the mouth.
Oh, yeah. I mean, okay. There's so many ways that could be received. I thought about it as shut your goddamn mouth. But, like, if I received that emoji, then I would think they would be like, I'm not talking anymore. Like, I would not read, that doesn't read BDSM to me.
Okay.
That would be like, they're not going to reply. They're not into this.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I think you should be very careful the context in which you use the zipper mouth emoji.
Yeah.
Sexually speaking.
Yeah. You like maybe this is where you're right. That might be too cartoonish, but you can say like, please zipper my mouth shut with your dick.
Yeah.
Zipper mouth. Is that too specific?
No, I think it's great.
Not much.
My mom has just messaged 85 £, $, caret, ampersand, asterisk, close parenthesis, _+.
Great. We will go back to the reminder that emojis are picture characters, not whatever you're sending, Mom. Or maybe she's one of the illiterate sexters that we talked about. Sorry, I love you.
She reads great.
Okay, good for you. So proud. This is one that I'd not... I think there's some in here that I just didn't think about, and other people might totally know. Bomb.
Like a squirrel looking for its nut.
There we go. Perfect example. If someone sent like me a squirrel, I'd be like, what, stuff it in your mouth? Like till your cheeks get all big? Like, I don't know. I wouldn't think of...
What are you storing it in there for?
For the winter. The winter is coming. Bomb plus eggplant.
Sure.
Your dick is the bomb.
Bomb dick. Yeah.
Yeah. Or bomb dick. Rooster plus diamond ring. Cock ring.
Cock ring. Yeah.
Oh. But the diamond ring, that seems like I want to marry a chicken. There's just some of these that I don't know that I would I would not have thought cock ring if someone sent that.
But I mean, if you did a ring without a diamond on it, it would just look like an O, and cocko isn't a thing. Like...
Every morning, I pour myself a bowl of cocos. I like new frosted cocos. Oops, all cocos.
Oh, I'm glad you get me.
Yeah. Lollipop.
Lollipop, oh, lolly, lollipop, lollipop. Ba-doom, boom, boom.
The correct song that you should have thought is, I want to lick you like a lollipop.
My example is at least 40 years older.
Yep. It's fine. Camel.
Camel?
For humping.
Humping?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Wait, you just... Oh, your mom said, fuck you, Kyle. That's good. That's fair. That's fair. That's a fair response.
No, somebody said throbbing rosebud, but I don't know what there's two the same symbol flanking a rose, and it's supposed to be throbbing rosebud.
Oh, it looked like a vibrating phone, kind of? So maybe it's like a...
throb, like your phone throbs.
Your
butthole.
But isn't that when it like stick like prolapse kind of?
Oh, maybe.
I thought a rosebud is the like when you fist and then you pull it out, like you're like you can see all the like the red.
Prolapsed is the right word for that.
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
Great.
And lastly, one person was like, I don't think anyone does this, but I like the new merman because it's a shirtless dude with a trident, which reads as let's fork. So I don't know if that's one.
Spear me.
But I like that.
Yeah.
Should I keep saying things about emojis, or should we move on?
Sure. Oh, they got nowhere else to be.
Yeah. You have nothing to do. You have to listen. You don't have to listen to me. Okay. So it's interesting that you were saying like, oh, wait, what is that thing? Or, some of them I'm like, I would not read that as, I'd read that as zipper mouth, not gimp face. There was, you get like a second mini dose of Gata. Mm-hmm. There was a study called Blissfully Happy or Ready to Fight, Varying Interpretations of Emojis.
Okay.
And this is by Hannah Miller, Jacob Phil, Speaker, So Chung, Isaac Johnson, Lauren Steven, and Brendan Hertz, and came out in 2016.
Okay.
And I'll just give
2016. Great.
Okay, I'm gonna have to take a big drink to get through this. So there are only two things. So basically, what?
Nothing. I'm very proud of your reaction.
Sometimes I just have to stop and drink. Okay, so what they said, which I literally never thought about this until this study. Science, studying things, it helps. They're saying people interpret emojis differently, mm-hmm. and they can show up differently on different platforms. Mm-hmm. So there's a potential for miscommunication and mm-hmm. misunderstanding. I mean, mm-hmm. any kind of communication, there's going to be misunderstanding, much less digitally, much less using a pictograph as a way to exchange information.
I'm going to say this to the entire internet. Any future paramours of Kyle's, you need to know you have to go on many dates before any emoji that has a heart in it at all is acceptable. He will drop you like a bad habit.
Heart means love. So if we go on a second date and you send me hard eyes, you're in love with me, and that's weird.
Great. Except the study should tell you that's not necessarily what they think they're saying.
The study confirmed heart eyes is inappropriate for a second date. That's what they said. That was the only finding. I don't understand why. I just think I'm so right. I don't understand anyone else. Like, how can you receive a heart thing? How can I feel uncomfortable even saying.
So how do you feel about, like, in Discord when somebody does a heart eye smiley face to somebody's post and then a whole bunch of other people pile onto that? Is that okay or not?
Pile on. No, I did that today.
Did you know our Discord server was planning a camping orgy today? They were. Go ahead.
Do I want to know more about that? That is.
I know you don't read the Not Safe for Work channels, but that was happening today.
Okay. Well, hope you all have fun. No, I did that today. So, like, if you're, TB posted, like, it was really cute. Like, reminder, there's going to be a live stream tonight. Which, like, thank you for doing that. That's really nice.
Yeah.
And so I sent the heart eyes.
Yeah.
Because we're not dating. Like, that's like, I feel.
Oh. Got it.
You can, like, okay. What I really wanted to say, though, is just two things. One is so they studied people's interpretation of different emojis, mm-hmm. and when it was on the same platform, meaning people are looking at the same version of the emoji, 25% of the time, people had a different interpretation on whether an emoji was positive, negative, or neutral.
Interesting. Okay.
Which that's a lot. Like, of just that small, like you would think in general, it's like that emoji says something positive, that's bad. Like,
yeah.
That seems pretty cut and dry. So for a quarter of them to be people not to be on the same page about that.
Okay, but what if it was like the loaf of bread emoji and then they make you decide is that positive or negative? Because
that'd be neutral.
Okay.
Well, you'd say it was negative because you're on keto.
It's true. Yep.
And across platforms, meaning the emoji may not even show up in the same, or it will not show up in the same way. What? Because you have Android, so you don't understand.
I hate it that I have the emoji keyboard thing, and then I use the shruggy one a lot to just mean like, I don't fucking know. And but the guy on Facebook doing it only has one hand in the air, and he looks real stupid.
Wait, your shrug emoji is our one guy, like one hand?
Except on some apps, when I do that, I get the desired effect, which is the two hands in the air. I don't know. One. But then in Facebook, it's always the doofy looking asshole with the one hand.
Yeah. What's mean? What did he do to you?
He misrepresented my, I don't know.
This is not what I meant by that. Okay, when they are across platforms, 40% had a different interpretation of positive, negative, or neutral. And that's where the title of the study, Blissfully Happy or Ready to Fight, there was one emoji they found that like it looked so visibly different on the different platforms that it was very clear like one was happy and one was angry. Like and it's the same emoji. So that is to say, when you start sexting with someone,
don't use emojis.
Oh, I was going to say, ask what type of platform they're on so you can really be on the same page about your emoji sending, but sure. Yeah, that's emojis.
Great. Well, speaking of sexting.
Sure. Speaking of the topic we're talking about.
We talked about it a little bit, but I legit like to type out things that we are doing to each other or will do with each other. Am I making sense? Like that's how I like to sext. Is that you do?
I do that more. It seems like you do that more often and in like with a regular person. Like I will do that on Scruff and or Grinder, and sometimes it will get to like you'll start talking like what are you into, like, and we'll do that like, oh, do you like that, blah blah blah, and then you'll get into that kind of like conversation and talk more specifically about like I want you to do that, and then yeah, it does like cross that point into like now we're talking about like what we're doing to each other and that kind of way. I don't really like the like it's not the like I move my hand down to your that right. So oh god, do you do that?
Sort of.
I can't do that. It's like, no, you literally aren't moving your hand anywhere. Like,
okay. So here's where I want to go with this. It's going to be very boring. But
thank you for joining us, everybody. Goodbye.
But so in English anyway, we have present tense, past tense, and future tense.
I'm so excited by this actually.
And then there's simple, continuous, perfect, and perfect continuous. Multiply those together, you have 12 different tenses that you can use for this kind of writing.
Okay.
You with me? So I was going to run through them all, and we're going to talk about like the pros and cons of using them in sexting. Some of them will eliminate right away because they're ridiculous, but some of them, like, I'm interested in like what tense do you use? What tone do you use when sexting? So first is present simple. That's just I eat your ass. Okay.
Are we going to diagram that sentence or something?
Yes.
Okay.
So then past simple, I ate your ass. Future simple, I will eat your ass. What?
It's just, kids don't need to go back to school. They just need to listen to this. This is your English class, everybody.
Present continuous, I am eating your ass.
Okay.
Past continuous, I was eating your ass. Future continuous, I will be eating your ass.
Okay.
Present perfect, I have eaten your ass.
Nope.
Past perfect, I had eaten your ass.
That one we're ruling out, right? Okay.
I think some of these we could have eliminated as we went.
Well, I was still getting into it.
Future perfect, I will have eaten your ass.
By this time tomorrow.
Present perfect continuous, I have been eating your ass. No. Past perfect continuous, I had been eating your ass. And finally, future perfect continuous, I will have been eating your ass. Okay, so for me, I adapt to whatever responses I'm getting, but I tend to prefer a future continuous.
Give me that in ass.
I will be eating your ass.
Okay.
So it's a description of what we're going to be doing. And I find that to be the hottest because for me, so much of what's happening, the context that I'm creating is about like future plans, realistic or not.
Yeah.
What we're going to be doing.
I agree for sure.
There are lots of people that do what you just started out saying you don't care for, which is talking about it in the present.
I just want to clarify. It's not that I don't care for it. I hate it. I hate it, and it's stupid.
Okay, great.
Wait, but do you do that? Like you said, when you say you would like adapt to other people's, what are the common things that other people do to you?
Yeah.
Wait, talking to your mic.
I know.
Podcasting.
I'm professional. Yeah. So a lot of people try for a present continuous, like I'm eating your ass. I reach down and grab your crotch and I'm sticking my tongue in your face. Whatever the fuck.
Yeah, that sounds more like phone sexting. What's that called? Phone sex.
Phone sex. Yeah.
That sounds more like you're acting it out, like in phone sex, which I don't.
Yeah, and it's different too because in phone sex, I think good phone sex, the hotness is in telling each other what to do and then how it feels while the person is doing it. It's not a description of a fantasy. It's reality in a limited format because you're not actually physically present and you have to use your words to describe it.
Are you touching your butt? How's your butt feel?
You sound like Linda Belcher.
Thank you.
Is it Linda Belcher? Which Belcher? The kid that writes all of the hot.
Oh no,
erotica.
Tina.
Tina. Yeah, you sound like Tina Belcher. Sorry, that joke was way funnier.
I just love that any of that you would think of me as any. So someone mentioned that it's in the comments. Joshua said it's anticipation, which I agree. Like that, like that kind of. It's like getting excited. It's like foreplay. Like or maybe it literally is foreplay. Like I'm getting excited to be doing this thing. Like you said, whether or not you. Also, Joel said I would have studied harder if we had those articles to practice. Which I agree.
Yeah, I think. I really think if we can get money to study some of the shit that you've brought studies for, are there studies about sexting and like what grammar you use, like what different kinds of sexting there are? Because I think it's fascinating to look at like these kinds of issues, but I'm a language nerd too, so
yeah. No, I think it's really interesting. Like, and I wonder, like how it would compare for straight and gay people, like what type of language, like what is, I bet you could read a lot about their association of sex and what it means. Like, is it positive, negative? Is it, hotter or less hot or okay. I do a lot of questions because I'm not.
Because you're a big old bottom?
Yeah. I was trying to think of a polite or a nice way to. Yeah, well, because, I'm like. Also, because I always feel like I'm feeling it out on Scruff to be like, would you do this? I feel like it's hot to be like, oh, okay, and would you be okay doing this to me? Like, and then that gets that lets me plant the idea in their head that they'll be planting something in me. Like it helps me plant the idea, but I'm still like I'm still the more submissive one, or I'm still the one like then they're like, yes, I'll do that, and it's like great, but you did it now, so you're fucking me, presumably.
Okay, all right. How much? Or I guess we're on to the personal stories part now.
Oh yeah. So, let's talk about us.
How much preparatory sexting stuff do you do? Like, how quickly do you go from just chatting to, okay, we're sexting now? That's question one. Question two is, once the sexting has started, how much virtual foreplay is there before you get to the main event?
When you say main event,
I mean the you getting plowed virtually.
Virtually plowed?
Yeah.
Wait, okay, but this is where like I don't get to the actual point of doing, like we're not simulating a sex thing. Like we're not simulating sex.
Oh wait, maybe I misunderstood you then.
Like,
because I do. That is part of what my game is like let's play out the whole scene of what we're going to do together.
No, I don't. No. I don't play out the full scene. I I just like, would you do that? Yeah, I'll do that. Oh, and so it's more, the escalation is more in like, we start out like, oh, you like blowjobs? Cool. You know, like, and then you escalate into like, pretty soon you're onto like, 100 guy gangbangs. Like, you know, like it just escalate. You get to like do more and more and talk about more and more things that you do and like more like other fantasies and things. So it's not,
okay. All right.
It's not start to finish. It's more escalating sexiness.
Mine is a narrative.
Oh, God.
A shared, collaborated narrative.
Okay, so you answer your question because I don't. Mine is how long can you last?
Just like real life, I love the build-up. I love the anticipation. The anal orgasm is like the least interesting thing. Like it's all of the maneuvering and preparation and the flirting and all of that, like the story of it all. Just like in porn, I like to watch the interviews at the beginning because I think it's fucking hot to build it up. Like it doesn't surprise me that we're arriving at this very different approach, but it's
samesies. But also, like, I'm just so confused about like. So then, when you're done, like, do you just say like, "Oh wow, I came, it got everywhere, you licked it up, bye"? Like,
yeah,
do you
exactly?
Like,
yes.
Do you virtually come?
Yes.
Do you,
honey? In real life, I come, and then I let them know that happened. Yeah.
So you are phone sexing over texting.
Yeah. But I'm way better at it than I am talking.
Huh. Yeah, you should practice the voice to text thing to work on your talking game. Do you talk in person? Like, are you verbal?
I make noises. I don't do a lot of like words. It's the hottest noise ever.
That's how you know I'm into it.
That's a good thing.
Okay, I'm also really bad at. Okay, one of my least favorite things in porn is they'll be like, when someone is like clearly verbal, the top is verbal, and he's like, "Tell me you like it," and the bottom just goes, and you're like, no. You need to say I like it. And then when he doesn't, I'm like, have this weird anxiety. I'm like, no, you say out loud I like it. And then if he doesn't get the response, some of those people will then say like, no, say it. Like, and then I'm like, oh God, it's just the most uncomfortable thing when you're like, you're doing real bad at this. That's a separate story.
Yep. A friend of the show who I think will remain anonymous on the recording anyway was talking about this very thing in Discord today, that when somebody actually verbalizes words during a sexual encounter, it's an instant boner killer. Like, sounds are great, but words are not. For them, that is a deal breaker.
Oh man, but you got to get the right person that can do the right words, that's like confident and sexy and like really just calls me a slut.
And of course, I suppose your ideal also would be not needing to respond because you're being choked.
Yeah. My response would be like, I even don't often ask people like to do things like if I can, I will grab his hand and put it on my throat. Like, I won't be like, hi, here's a suggestion. Thank you for being inside of me, but I have one tip. And this is okay. I think you sex with, like, don't you have like regulars that you will?
I do.
Like,
yeah.
I don't do, like, I will. When I get on Grindr Scruff,
hold on. I with less people than I think that the show has led people to believe.
So it only like 17? No, I just imagine like a few.
My encounters with some listeners would suggest that they think that like I just sit in my office all day sexting with listeners, which although accurate, is not the image that I want to project. No, like it's not that many. It's really not.
Yeah.
And
but like it's interesting because that is more my God, this is representative of our actual sex lives. You have a small number of people that you want to know and go back to. I want to talk to a new person on Scruff and and like figure out the new things that they're into and like the things that I say and they say and all that stuff. Like I don't need to have like, I know what the people I know are into. Like the people I've hooked up with, I know what they're into, so I don't need to have that conversation. Maybe I could be like, hey, remember that thing you did? That was hot. And they're like, yeah. But like, so I feel like either I am on Scruff and I'm going to have one of those things and we're going to talk a bunch and then we're probably not going to hook up, or we don't do that at all. And it's like, oh, you like that? You like that? Cool. What are you up to? Okay. Get in my bed. It's like, you don't need to do the sexting when you're actually going to hook up, or I don't do that.
I agree. I've also noticed that I do it more often with people that are not immediately available, and during quarantine, that's everybody. But like people that I'm attracted to that seem attracted to me, but they live in another state. That's what you have, and so that's what you do.
Yeah. I can't tell if my dog is judging. He was looking at me, and I can't tell if he's judging me because he can hear me talking about.
I'm pretty sure he hates both of us.
He's just like, his head is down, and he's like, eyes are looking up. Like, anyway.
Did we do it?
Yeah. We sexted.
Well, everybody sext us if you have thoughts about what is going on.
Use some unique emojis.
Okay, hold on.
What?
Jason said, do you consider video calling each other a part of sexting? Absolutely not. That is a completely different thing.
I've done that literally one time, and that's only because this is a guy that I'm super into. We've hooked up multiple times, and he just sent me the video chat. And then I answered, and he like, I could see him first, and he was just like jacking off, and he was like, turn yours on. And I was like, okay. Like I didn't, like it was just like, he told me what to do. But yeah, I don't think that's different than sexting. I think.
Yeah, I totally agree. It seems like its own thing. I mean, it's obviously not sex because you're still remote,
sex.
But it's to me, sexting is a very specific thing that can't be done any other way.
Yeah.
Like to me, it is crafting in text a sexual narrative involving the two people that are collaboratively making that narrative.
Sexual narrative.
Yeah,
I like that. That
Great.
phrase is fun.
Great. All right.
But yeah, we did it.
We did it. So should we take a break?
Let's take a break.
Let's take a break. I'm going to send some sextings now. Everybody, enjoy.
Right here.
This is the part where Mike and Kyle take a break.
Okay. For those of you who don't know,
we always do a shot.
We traditionally take a shot during the break of our live shows.
Today's shot is Rumpelstiltskin. What is this?
Rumpelmans. Which, although I'm on keto, this is basically 80% sugar. But that's okay because I love you.
I kind of forgot about that. I kind of didn't consider you. That's weird. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hallelujah.
Fuck my ass.
Sexting. That's great.
Take that away from me. So are we back?
We're back.
We're back.
Jesus. I'm going to wash that down with some rosé.
Great.
Oh, yeah. BT dubs, everybody. Decided to go a little bit old school with my rosé.
I know. It's been a while. It's been a while, Rosé.
It's been a while, Rosé. So good to see you. So good to have you and me. We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest.
We're going to do our Gayest and Straightest, but first, our website.
Wait.
Oh, wait. Go ahead.
Everyone, if you have your Gayest and Straightest, go ahead and post that to the Facebook comments so that I can read some of them.
I'll check our text messages.
Oh boy. Okay, now do the how to do us.
Our website is gayishpodcast.com.
Can you both look it up and say your things? Okay. I can barely say our things when I'm just talking. We are on social media. Find us on the internet at Gayish Podcast on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Facebook.
Our hotline, you can send us text messages or voicemails, is 5855-GAYISH. That's 585-542-9474. Standard rates apply.
Our email is... Sorry. Someone just said, Thank you, listeners. Nathaniel says, voting in the podcast awards, plug it. Oh my God, they're more on top of shit than we are.
Yeah, are we sexting now? I think we're sexting.
Oh yeah,
now.
This is hot to me.
Plug me.
I was just like, it's so hot to talk about how you're gonna vote for me. Vote for me harder. Oh yeah, vote for us on the podcast award, podcastawards.com. But what I'm supposed to say is our email is gayishpodcast@gmail.com.
And our physical address is Post Office Box 19882, Seattle, Washington, 98109. So
anything else?
But seriously, the podcast awards, the listener nomination period is right now. You can go to podcastawards.com. There's a very simple sign up process that you go through, and then you can vote for us in the LGBT category and in the listener's choice category. There's an added benefit there, though, that not only are you giving us a bigger chance of winning, but then also people who participate in this process also then become judges. So we want to...
You don't have to be.
You don't have to be.
But you can be.
But you can be. And of course, the judging portion gets a lot of points in figuring out who actually wins. So the more gayish listeners we have that are judges for this fucker, the better.
Yeah, and I see there are a good number of you sitting here watching on the live stream. So right after this... What? Oh.
Shit.
Should I... All right, well...
Vamp, Kyle, vamp.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Kyle Show. Today, on the Kyle Show, I have literally nothing to say. Mike just ran down his hallway. My dog woke up and is now staring at him. And I don't have anything to say, which is great because Mike is almost back. I see some, like, real good Gayest and Straightest.
We got mail.
Chat. Thank you. We're gonna have you opened it? Do you know what it is?
I know what it is.
Oh, okay.
Sort of.
Okay. Wow, we've never opened mail like where people can see it.
Yeah. One of these is for me and one of them is for you, and I'm not sure which is which.
Is this interesting for people to like see us open things for us?
It's our show. Fuck them, Kyle. We can do what we want to.
This is some
This one's for you.
Wow, someone even like wrapped a thing.
No, it's my mom. These are from Mom. These are paintings that she made.
Oh, yeah, Ma Johnson. We were messaging about, this is the one I wanted. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Oh, you already do this? Okay. I don't know if y'all can see this, but she sent some of the things she'd already painted, and you can barely see it. I wish I could. So I was like, I want. She has like these great paintings of like flowers and stuff, and I wanted the one with a bike. So there's a green bike with some like flowers in the basket, and she put a dildo on the like seat.
It's a bicycle with a dildo on the seat.
Which at first it's like a little bit subtle. It was innocuous until I saw that. Thank you, Ma Johnson. I love it. It's going up in my room.
Mine is a landscape with a mailbox on it that has the address on it of the house that I grew up in Zilla.
Oh,
it's adorable.
That's so nice. Where's the dildo? I feel like the grass at the bottom. I'm looking for like the hidden, like where's Waldo?
God, speaking of sexting, where's the dildo? Thanks, Mom. Love you.
Thank you. Gayest and Straightest?
Yeah, let's do our Gayest and Straightest.
Okay. My gayest is walking gay.
Okay.
Which I'm not even going to say, like, it's not even a specific thing I'm doing, but there's sometimes where
you
I'm
walk
just...
very fast.
Well, that's true. But I'm specifically... There's sometimes when I'm like... It's kind of like you let yourself go and just, like, walk how you want to walk.
I get that.
And it's like... And it feels gay because you're just, like... You just kind of... This was around my place because I don't, like, let me be myself in public. Mm-hmm. But I was just, like, walking around my place and I just, like... let all of it go and walked around and I just felt so gay and good. It was so nice. My straightest is stick with me.
Mm-hmm.
You know how I feel like, well, I've said like, I come over to your place and if I'm wearing jeans, I immediately change into shorts. I just
you
like,
didn't even bother today.
No. If I can, I don't even try wearing jeans. Like I'm just very uncomfortable in like a lot of like clothes that I'm supposed to wear. And so I finally got delivered a skirt that I ordered.
Oh.
And so this is where I have to stick with me. So I am not too like wearing it totally out yet. Like I wore it around my place yesterday, and I also wore it to take out my dog like at 2 a.m. when no one was awake. And the reason this is the straightest thing is because I walked outside. It felt so comfortable. I felt okay about what, like, if I'm wearing jeans and it's warm, I hate wearing suits. I just like, this is not how I was. I just hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And to like be able to walk outside and feel good and just feel regular. Oh my God, it was so freeing. It felt so good. I assume this is what straight people feel like every day when they just wear their normal straight clothes. So I'm so excited about this. We'll see how I progress to like doing that in public, but yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah,
I hope to see you wear your skirt someday. I don't know.
I just started doing some ASMR. I don't know why. Yeah, you'll see me in a skirt eventually.
So the gayest thing about me this week is something that I haven't said in a long time, but I went on a date twice, but like a real date,
not back to back,
not back to back,
in different days.
The same person.
Yep.
Twice.
Yep.
Which is first of all, in COVID is fucking weird. Like we have yet to actually like physically touch each other. Being 6 feet apart, wearing masks all the time is like doesn't feel like dating.
Yeah.
But just like dating dudes is like, that's pretty gay.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know we also typically disqualify sexual stuff happening, but
the straightest thing is you didn't have sex on the first date.
Well, yeah. So the straightest thing is for the first date, we just met on the waterfront down here in Seattle. He had to take a ferry to get here, and an hour before the date, I met a friend of mine to talk about he wants to start a podcast and coaching.
Did you tell him no?
Well, I definitely said if you're expecting to make money,
our
don't do that.
Oh yeah.
But we walked up and down South Lake Union for a while, and I wore the wrong shoes and put like giant blisters in my heels, in both heels, because I wore the wrong shoes. So I showed up to our first date in flip flops and Band-Aids, like. And I just feel like it's pretty straight guy to just like roll up wearing whatever shoes you want and not paying attention when I had these like really cute shoes that I wanted to wear, and then I didn't get to because my feet hurt so bad I couldn't make it happen.
I feel like Flip Flop and Band-Aids is like the name of a hipster dive bar in like Portland.
Big time. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, or Coachella or something. Okay.
Okay, I have a couple. We didn't mention fucking Dan. Wishes he could be here. He.
Oh yeah, we should just read what he said so that we don't fuck it up.
Oh sure, you can. While you look at that, I'm going to read a couple of Gayest and Straightest that I found. James said his straightest is getting his tattoo finished, and his gayest is it's a bear. 'Cause I'm a bear. Grr. And then he sent a bear emoji. I'm assuming that's the tone of voice he said it in. Thomas says his gayest is watching the live stream and drinking a raspberry sour beer. Yeah, which I get. Like, regular beer's stupid. The straightest is simultaneously watching MMA and eating hot wings. Which, yeah. I mean, but MMA's... that's one of those straight things that's so gay.
Because you want to be submission choke held.
God, I would be so bad at MMA because I would lose so quickly and it'd be amazing. What?
You good?
Oh yeah. Tell us what Dan said.
Yeah. So everybody keep Dan in your thoughts and stuff because he's having a hard time. He said you can let them, meaning you guys, the listeners, you can let them know I'm sitting this one out because shared custody of my dog wasn't working out, and I'm taking time to grieve the loss of my best friend of 9 years. You can also say I'm going to be spending the time this evening with Daddy, Big Bro, Coach, my human pup friend, and others.
Yeah, which you've had that experience of kind of. I mean, you've talked about that on the episode about dogs.
Yeah.
Episode something. This is where Dan would look it up if he was here, but he's not. But yeah, it's shitty thing to deal with.
Damien says Flip Flops and Band-Aids sounds like Halsey's new single. So that's...
Oh, we're going to hang out a little bit if you want to hang out afterwards.
Oh, that's right. So for those of you on Facebook, we are going to do the Patreon segment just right after this, which you normally have to pay for, but you get for free tonight. And yeah, and then after that, I think we're going to move over to Zoom. We'll see
if there are people...
If people want to.
Yeah.
And that's it. So a special thank you to pro wrestler Cody Rhodes for choking Kyle and standing up for faggots.
And thank you again to the general concept of Nick Jonas. Just want to keep that in our thoughts, you know?
And thanks to Mom for
our beautiful dildo-y pictures.
That's it. This has been Gayish. I'm Mike Johnson.
I'm Kyle Getz. Until next week, be butch, be fabulous, be you. Eggplant emoji.
See you next week.
Water juice.
Wink. Okay, they cannot hear us.
Oh, okay.
Is everything okay?
Yeah. Do you have anything to say for me?
I got drunk.
Oh,
Look, I had that much wine and a shot.